In this video, I'm going to explain my strategies for playing Lightning Round. Lightning Round is a team game. You play together with 4 teammates on your own board to get to 750 points. Your team plays against 5 other players who are also playing together. In this game, it never makes sense to play defensively or to block your opponent because your opponent never sees your boards. As a general strategy, just know this is a quick game. Play words that generate the most points per second. Don't belabor a long word that will only generate 14 points. If you can play a word that will produce 40 or more points, you should always play it. Otherwise, you should play a word that sets up your teammates for a high-scoring word. Setting up your teammates helps them achieve high point totals when they can combine 2 words on the double word square, doubling both words, or combine 2 words on the triple word squares, tripling both words, or even better, combining 2 double words, words with 5 tiles or longer, to achieve a 4 times value for that word. So let's say player 1 plays face as the first word. It's a good word because it sets up player 2 with a double word. So let's assume player 2's tiles are SF, D, I, C, E, W. What do you think would be a good play for player 2 that would set up subsequent players for high point words? If player 2 played WED, this is not a particularly good play. WED is not high in points, nor does it set up player 2's partners for good words. DICE is a much better play. DICE produces more points than WED, and DICE sets up player 2's partners for a triple word. So there are different strategies for helping your team depending on if the game is just starting, meaning it's the first player 2, if it's during the middle of the game, or if the game's about to end, meaning that you or your opponents have 650 more points. So for example, if the game is about to end, it's less important to set up your partners since another play may not even be possible. So strategies for when the game is just starting, I do suggest playing 4-letter words that start from the center square and go down. So this minimizes the amount of time it takes to place the tiles. More importantly, it's easier to play words in the lower right portion of the board than in the upper left portion of the board. Yes, of course, you can play longer words, but I would set them up such that they end right above the double word. So another strategy is to play words that an S or a D can be added to. So for example, we play face, you see that it can become faced or faces. This allows your partner to take advantage of that double word. Also, if we play words that end in vowels, it's helpful because high-value tiles are all consonants, and many 2-letter words can be quickly played on them. And as such, avoid high-value tiles in the first play because they're worth more later in the game when they can be played in double or triple words. So some don'ts. So don't play a 5-letter word that ends in D or S. This minimizes the team's points, and I'll go through an example in just a second. Don't start a 4-letter word on a square other than the center square. And don't play an S or a wild card unless you have to make a 4-letter word. So for example, FIST is okay because it can become FISTS. Don't play a 4-letter word that cannot be made into a plural word. So for example, feet. And even worse is playing B's, and especially true if the B is not played on the center square. And then finally, don't pass tile racks with all vowels or all consonants on to the next player. So here's an example. Let's say player 1 played faced on the first play, and then player 2 played ice in the second play. Faced is worth 24 points. That sounds good. Ice is worth 8 points. So when we get to the total, the team total is 32 points. However, if player 1 played face and player 2 played dice, The team total for that combination is 50 points. It's 10 for face, so I got 14 less on my first play, but the second play is worth 40 because I get 24 for face and 16 for dice. So it's tempting to be selfish and play words like faced or faces, but you actually hurt your team in the process if you do that. So you can get your team back on track. So if player 1 plays a word REF, you can treat this like a new board and look to set up a double word from the center square. So play ACE to get us to face. So during the middle of the game, do play high value words or set up your partners for high value words. Manage your high value tiles to maximize the team's points. Pay attention to how your teammates are playing. Don't play a single tile. There's almost always a better play. Don't block double or triple words, and don't pass bad tile racks on to your teammates. So some strategies for high value tiles. So there are 4 high value tiles for each board. There's the Z, the J, the Q that are worth 10 points each. And there are some really important 2-letter words that can be formed. We have ZA, JA, JO, JE, and QI, and those can be combined for high point totals. There's a lot of different words that can be combined in 3-letter words that use J and Z. But for Q, there's 6. SUQ, QAT, QUA, QUE, QUI, and QIS. Those are good to know. X is worth 8 points, and X is unique because it can be played as either a 2-letter word with a vowel before it, as in AX, AE, and OX, or with a vowel after it, as in XI or XU. XI can become XIS, but XUS is not a valid word. So J and X are the most versatile high-value tiles since they can be used in so many words. And as we've seen, playing a high-value tile in one of the corners and as a triple word can result in very high points. So in this example, FIZ is worth 120 points. So always play 2 words with your high-value tiles. If I only play J, as in JE here, it's worth 21 points, but I can double that by playing JE, and so I end up with JE twice. This is also why it's smart to wait to later in the game to play high-value tiles. You can get more points for them. So some strategies for managing tile racks. If you have a bad rack of tiles, lots of I's and C's and V's, for example, and don't see a good play, don't pass this tile rack on to your partners. Go ahead and replace some or all of those tiles. C's and V's are difficult, for example, because there's only one 2-letter combination that works. VU is a valid word, but there are no other 2-letter words. So those are characters that we want to be careful with. So for tile racks with all vowels, I suggest keeping a single E and throw the rest of the tiles back. For tile racks with all consonants, so if you have a high value tile, keep one of them and an S and throw the rest back. If you have wildcard tiles, I would suggest keeping 1 but not 2. So here's an example of what we don't want to do. If player 3 played AGEE, it blocks the triple word below it because AGEES is not a valid word. So notice how your teammates are playing. If your teammates are not taking advantage of the high value word opportunities, you're going to have to go ahead and take them when they become available. So go ahead and play faced. If you see from prior plays that if you play face, your teammate would play a single D, resulting in faced. In fact, the worst possible combination or sequence of words is player 1 plays face for 8 points, player 2 plays just the D to get to 20 points, player 3 plays ICE for 8 points, and so that's 36 points over 3 plays, and we saw that playing we could get 50 points for face and dice, which is a much better play. So when the game is about to end, Well, what we have to do, of course, is keep track of both teams' points, and you know that the game is about to end when either team has 650 or more points. As we've seen, it's possible to get over 100 points in one word, so the game could be over in one play at this point. So here, you just have to play for points. You don't need to worry about setting up your partners because you don't know if there's going to be another play. So even with tile racks of all vowels or all consonants, look for words to play. AA, EE, and OO are valid words. SH can often be used to produce a lot of points. So after settling on the strategies that I've described in this video, I've found that I've won about 75% of my games. It's not possible to win all games with any strategy. Sometimes you just get partners who don't show up. It could be, I've seen as many as 3 players not even show up for a game, and that's hard to play against 5 other people. And sometimes you just get bad tiles. It's just the nature of the game. So I hope that these strategies can help you and your teams win more games. Good luck.